The United Kingdom, a nation known for its stability and order, finds itself grappling with an unprecedented wave of unrest. The streets, once symbols of calm and tradition, are now battlegrounds of discontent and fury. Cities across the country have become stages for fiery protests and violent clashes, leaving many citizens questioning the state of their nation. The air is thick with tension, and the sense of uncertainty is palpable. The catalyst for this unrest is a tragic incident that has ignited long-simmering tensions within British society. This event has acted as a spark in a powder keg, bringing underlying issues to the forefront. This recent eruption of violence is a stark reminder of the deep-seated issues that continue to plague the UK. These issues, often brushed under the carpet, have now erupted in a manner that can no longer be ignored. Many feel that the government has failed to address the root causes of social and economic inequality, leaving a significant portion of the population feeling marginalised and unheard. The cries for justice and equality echo through the streets, demanding attention. The incident that sparked these protests has merely brought these simmering tensions to a boiling point. The anger and frustration that have been building up over the years have now found a violent outlet. The government has been quick to condemn the violence, calling for calm and order on the streets. Officials urge for peace, but their words seem to fall on deaf ears. However, for many, these words ring hollow. The promises of change and reform have been heard before, yet little has been done to address the core issues. They argue that the government's austerity measures and cuts to public services have created a breeding ground for frustration and anger. The impact of these policies is felt deeply in everyday life, exacerbating the divide. The lack of opportunities and the ever-widening gap between the rich and poor have fueled a sense of despair and hopelessness, particularly among young people. This generation, feeling abandoned and without prospects, has taken to the streets to voice their discontent. The future seems uncertain, and the call for change grows louder with each passing day. From the bustling streets of London, where the daily hustle and bustle never seems to cease, to the northern cities of Manchester and Birmingham, known for their rich industrial history and vibrant communities, the unrest has spread like wildfire, engulfing neighbourhoods and sparking widespread concern. Images of burning cars and shattered shop windows have dominated news headlines, capturing the chaos and destruction, painting a picture of a nation teetering on the brink of a deeper crisis. The epicenter of the unrest, however, remains the city where the tragic incident occurred, a place now synonymous with turmoil. Here, protests have been particularly intense, with emotions running high and tensions escalating rapidly, with demonstrators clashing with police and setting fire to buildings, turning once peaceful streets into battlegrounds. The scale of the violence has left many residents in a state of shock and disbelief, struggling to comprehend the sudden upheaval. As the unrest continues, there are growing concerns about the impact on communities and businesses, with fears of long-term consequences. The violence has already resulted in widespread damage to property, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. And many businesses have been forced to close their doors, unable to operate under such volatile conditions. The economic fallout from these events is likely to be significant, further exacerbating existing inequalities and creating new challenges for recovery.
This violence is utterly unacceptable. We will restore order to the streets. We cannot allow such chaos to disrupt our society and endanger the lives of innocent citizens.
In response to the escalating crisis, the government has convened emergency Cobra meetings, bringing together senior ministers and security officials to coordinate the response. These meetings are crucial for formulating a comprehensive strategy to address the violence and restore peace.
Those responsible for this violence will be brought to justice. We will not rest until every perpetrator is held accountable for their actions.
The government has authorised the deployment of additional police officers to affected areas, ensuring that law enforcement has the necessary resources to manage the situation effectively, and has granted them wider powers to quell the unrest. These measures are intended to restore order swiftly and prevent further escalation. Despite these pronouncements, many critics argue that the government's response has been inadequate and heavy-handed. They believe that the root causes of the unrest are not being addressed. They point to the increased police presence as evidence of the government's instinct to resort to force rather than addressing the underlying issues that have fueled the unrest. Critics call for a more balanced approach that includes dialogue and addressing social grievances.
While I condemn the violence, the government's response has been far from adequate. We need a more measured and compassionate approach. It's crucial to address the root causes of this unrest, including social and economic inequality.
The unrest has ignited a fierce political debate, with accusations and counter-accusations flying across the political spectrum. Opposition leader Sir Keir Starmer has condemned the violence but has also criticised the government's response, calling for a more measured and compassionate approach. He has urged the government to address the root causes of the unrest, including social and economic inequality.
Thank you for the like, comment, and subscribe.